What are some things that you like about The Mandalorian? Piss. Hope this helps.
Start your sublight engines. It's time for RuPalp's Pod Race, a queer Star Wars podcast. Welcome to our first official episode covering The Mandalorian, because we were not with you for the first 2 seasons. In preparation for season 3 beginning soon, we wanted to make sure we talked about seasons 1 and 2 before we get there, so you can get our official RuPalp's Mandalorian thoughts. I'm Claudia. My pronouns are she, her. You can find me on social media at Kaludia Says, Kaludia Says. My gender this week is Din Djarin's Fallen Order moment. It seems like from the trailer that he is going to be going excavating some things, some old, I almost said old archaeology things. I was like, that's not a word. He's just going to be going and excavating ancient things on Mandalore.
Wait,
and I think
archaeology isn't a word.
No,
Is that what you just said?
No, I just meant that that's not a phrase. Like archaeology things. That's just not a thing.
Okay, gotcha. I thought you were trying to discredit the entire practice of archaeology.
Yeah, actually, RuPalp's official stance on archaeology, fuck them. No.
I did think that when you were like, Din is in his Fallen Order era, I was like, I don't remember a part in the trailer where he had to push a really big ball into a certain socket so he could move forward.
Here's the thing. I bet that's something that he's going to have to do.
I'm Jess. My pronouns are they, them. You can find me on social media at Kawaii Jessio, and my gender this week is popping Grogu in the blender and turning him into a puree.
Oh my god!
No, because that takes green juice to a whole new level. I know that if I drank that, my skin would clear, I would look perfect. I think it would really fix me.
You're giving Moff Gideon right now.
That's what Moff Gideon actually wanted to get Grogu for, not to like help with cloning Palpatine. It's just to make the Grogu green juice.
Moff Gideon's going on a juice cleanse, not clickbait. So I'm Noah. My pronouns are he, him, and you can find me on social media pretty much everywhere at The Jewish Jedi. And my gender this week is a callback to last week's episode, which is Dick's Nation. It really hasn't left my mind since it was said out loud. I sort of see him in my dreams now.
Oh, Dick's Nation.
I'm a Dick's Nation girl.
Now you know what it feels like to be me. That's been me for the last two seasons of The Mandalorian. I first saw him before he even was in the show.
I would like to say that I'm still a Din Cobb person through and through, but Axe Woves and Din Djarin, Dick's Nation, if you will. I hope to see that work out. Why don't they just have a polycule? I've solved it. I've solved the problem. Din Djarin, Cobb Vanth, and Axe Woves will enter a polycule in season 3 of The Mandalorian. Hope this helps.
Hello. My name is Mel. I use they, them pronouns. You can find me on social media at Melvin Copa and on TikTok at Grunkle Rex. And my gender this week is actually the beginning of a movement. I want to get this hashtag trending. It's hashtag bangs for Bo-Katan. I think that the natural conclusion to her character arc is getting bangs.
I have to agree.
I would say if Bo-Katan had gotten bangs like in the Clone Wars era, like she wouldn't have done all that bullshit that she did in the Clone Wars. Like
joining Death Watch is the equivalent of getting bangs, I think, in a lot of ways. So I think
something
that
Satine has said to her. I think a quote.
I also feel like Bo-Katan just screams to me the child who got a really unfortunate haircut as like a toddler. Like one of their first haircuts was really bad bangs. Like it made them look like a friar type moment. And I think that she's just been recovering from that from ever since. And so I think it's natural for her character progression to kind of have that rebirth, if you will, via
destigmatizing. Yes.
I do think it'd be funny if we had sort of a very dramatic scene where set to some kind of uppy pop song where she did her own bangs with a lighter in a like dimly lit gas station bathroom.
With the Darksaber?
So true.
Bo-Katan cutting her bangs with a Darksaber is something I need. That's why she needs it so bad. It's not to rule Mandalore. That's just like, she's like, yeah, whatever, I need to rule Mandalore. It's really because she needs a Darksaber so she can give herself bangs.
Okay, no, because also everyone's like, are you gonna like make a crown or anything? And she's like, I already did. And she just sort of gestures to the bangs.
I'm just imagining her with the Lord Farquaad haircut now.
Chin up, queen, your bangs are falling.
Stop. Oh my god. No, because First of all, I would still support her. I would still say, well, I get what you're going through, but I do think it would be extremely funny for her to have like straight across but very slightly uneven bangs. Like you can tell she just couldn't commit to the bit all the way through.
I am obsessed with that.
I don't know how I feel like we're having bangs.
Well, that's the thing. It's less of an actual visual and more of a like emotional like catharsis.
Cutting your hair with the darksaber or just any lightsaber does not sound pleasant. I feel like that could damage part of your hair.
Okay, well, we have a canonical instance of this happening. If you remember, in Midnight Horizon, Wreath's Padawan braid
That's
does
true,
get
that's
cut
true.
via lightsaber.
So does Keith Trennis's.
Yeah, that's true. I didn't think of Keeves, even though
Wow,
that's a visual.
hate to see a woman winning.
Yeah, and during Black History Month, that's really fucked up of me.
I feel like they do that just for like the symbolism, and then they like go back later on and like actually fix the like little area where the rat tail was cut off, you know?
No, literally, like I imagine, like, you know, you've seen one of those like videos on youtube.com.edu where like a person like is like straightening their hair and like they take it away and it's like burnt off. That's what I assume
the
cutting your hair with a
classics
lightsaber
of
is.
YouTube?
Yeah,
like that's a classic of youtube.edu. Who hasn't seen that video, Mel?
A lot. You know what, kid Claudia? You're about 8 million years old.
Claudia, you say that, and then at the same time, whenever we be like talking about a meme on like TikTok or Twitter or something, and then you go back and try to explain it to our like viewers, and we're like, Claudia, everyone has seen that, and you're like, you don't know that. You have to explain it to people, and you're doing the exact same thing.
Remember when we had to explain the Megan trailer? Y'all remember that?
And we do it again.
Okay, to be fair, that was more like a catharsis, honestly.
When will Megan be in The Mandalorian season 3?
I think Megan should be the next ruler of Mandalore.
The Megalore?
Yeah, the Megalore.
Okay, no, because here's the thing. I know that she would sort of strut in, and I use the word strut to sort of paint a picture. I know that she would strut into the throne room on Mandalore, and they would all go, well, she's the clear choice, and they would sort of hand her the darksaber.
So true. Oh, okay, wait. Oh my god. Mandalorian season 3. Instead of like a recap of like what you missed on Boba Fett, like the last couple episodes, which are to say Mandalorian season 2.5, instead we decanonize that, right? We cut back to Luke's Jedi school, right? Where he's like, da 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 da, to me and Grogu, he, twinking around or whatever. And then Luke realizes that Grogu is lonely. He doesn't have any little friends to play with. Cue Taylor Swift's It's Nice to Have a Friend. Megan. It's Megan and Grogu.
Wait, because here's the thing. I know a lot of people have been saying, like, it's really weird having Luke be this, like, deep-faked AI. We need to recast him. Allison Williams is right there.
Oh, holy shit. Okay, wait.
I will say she's played men before. She played Peter Pan in that NBC live production of Peter Pan.
Holy shit.
So I think that she could do it.
This is perfect because then you could even have Grogu's first words be, oh my god, were you on Girls? And she could be like, yes, I was.
You know what? No one gives a shit about Girls. Don't bring it up
again on this 2008. The housing bubble has not popped yet, Noah.
I don't know how to tell you guys this, but that's a quote from an SNL skit last week. So why don't you all check yourself?
They were talking about Girls on SNL. That shit's embarrassing.
Yes, because they made a Megan 2 where she has poppers to feed gay people, which I thought was
I do remember
hilarious. And at the end, Allison Williams comes in and she's like, "Oh my god, help! She's evil." And then one of them is like, "Oh my god, were you on Girls?"
Oh shit. Noah, I'm sorry I came for you like that. That was mean, uncalled for, and cunty.
You guys call me old, yet Noah's the one watching SNL?
But it was about Megan that gets a pass.
Yeah, also I saw the clip on TikTok. I was not going to youtube.com and going SNL and hitting enter. Be serious now. It's far more embarrassing that I've watched any amount of Girls, so at least come for something realistic. Like, you have such a clear target.
At least you were watching it on, like, Facebook videos. So let's take the wins where we can get them.
I'm on Instagram Reels watching Saturday Night Live.
Did Did you guys know that some people watch TV on their television? I know that's crazy. Not on
That's their
YouTube.com.
problem.
Okay, now
Yeah.
Claudia is sounding like a bit of like a boomer meme here. So
Back in my day, we TiVoed things.
Back in my day, we
TiVo?
had to watch Megan on our phones. I'm just saying.
As God intended.
I'm just saying. Megan in Mandalorian armor could be really revolutionary. I think that she would kill it.
I agree. Also, I'm waiting for the day that I can watch Megan all on my phone through TikTok clips. Like
So
3-minute
true.
videos,
In like
3-minute
50
increments.
parts. Yeah.
Exactly.
My name is Ollie. I use any pronouns. You can find me on social media at Ollie Fresh. That's fresh with a PH. And my gender this week is Grief Karga's favorite music of 2022. A list that includes American Teenager by Ethel Cain.
No.
Y'all remember when Barack Obama did that? Not to compare
Yeah.
Grief Karga to Barack Obama, but it's just one of those things that I'm like, I feel like I just can't imagine Barack Obama listening to it. And I feel like similar about Grief Karga in the way that he's like an older, more, an older guy, and he's like, whatever. But it's also like, I feel like Grief Karga would get it more than Barack Obama does.
I am just sort of fixed mentally on the concept of Grief Karga listening to Gibson Girl like alone in his room. I really think that that's because if you listen to American Teenager, I feel that you're going like the right person is going to fall down the sort of American Teenager like whole pipeline, listen to the entire album. So this means that I need to see in The Mandalorian season 3, Grief Karga dancing to Gibson Girl. That's my my goal. Perhaps while Megan is there. I would love if Megan were also there during the Gibson Girl
Yeah.
choreographed dance routine.
Okay, I know that Megan and Grief Karga would be besties.
You're so right. Wait. No, because
Wait,
you're so
Wait,
correct.
they replaced Cara Dune with Megan?
Okay, first of all, that is slay. Now that's a concept. Now that being said, we already have had a Megan in canon, guys, that we completely forgot about. IG-11.
IG-11!
Okay, so this is how we bring IG-11 back, but IG-11 and Megan are now the same person.
Oh shit.
I think that IG-11 should just put on a really sliving blonde wig and then be like, it's me, Megan. And we'll be like, yes, that is normal.
Right?
She has always been here.
Spoilers for Megan, I think that might just be what Megan does in the next Megan movie.
Yeah, low-key. I think that you're right.
IG-11 doing the Megan dance? Let's discuss.
IG-11's cover of Titanium.
No, because I also want to see IG-11 stand next to Allison Williams and be like, you're exhausting, I swear to God.
IG-11 being like, Jesus Christ, I thought we were friends.
IG-11 being like,
Holy
if she comes in this room. No, because IG-11 being like, if she comes in this room, I'll rip your head right off your neck, I swear to God. I love her. I think she's perfect.
That was IG-11 to freaking Jason Sudeikis Stormtrooper or whatever the fuck it was.
So true.
Wow. Here's how Megan in Star Wars can still win.
God, can't we just turn this into a Megan podcast, Claudia? I don't care if you haven't seen it yet. Get with the times.
The M3gdalorian is actually now what this podcast is about. So obviously, I said before, we did not exist when seasons 1 and 2 of The Mandalorian occurred. So we were like, you guys, and obviously we've talked about that man before at length, but we decided we haven't talked about the show. So we just wanted to have a little moment to discuss all things Mandalorian as we get back into the groove of things. I guess first we should talk about like all the things that we like, because I mean, in general, I think across the board, we all very much like this show.
I will say, I guess another, not to be like, I'm going to answer your question with a question. But I think another thing I also want to like kind of ask to get started is like, not only what do you like about it, but also like what got you to start watching The Mandalorian? Because I think for a lot of people, The Mandalorian, and especially for those of us here, I think for a lot of us, The Mandalorian coming out sort of kickstarted our re-entry into Star Wars, like not just Star Wars, like enjoying it, but Star Wars fandom as a whole. Because like I can say I have always loved Star Wars, right? But I hadn't watched The Mandalorian until like the pandemic really started because I was at home in my room all the time. So I started watching The Mandalorian and I was like, this is my best friend. And then I went back and watched everything else. And now I'm here because I was like, they keep trying to make me learn about this man. Fine, I give in. I give in to the mouse.
Yeah, I also hadn't really engaged with Star Wars for a number of years. I was like just getting back into it because it was like deep pandemic times, and I was like, okay, I have nothing to do. I would love to like get back into this. And then the thing that actually made me start watching it, well, I think this will probably surprise no one now that we sort of come full circle. But I was just like scrolling on TikTok and I saw some fan art of Cobb Vanth. I saw some fan art of Cobb Vanth making out with Djarin, and I was like, who the fuck are these people? What is this show? Why are we drawing this? And then that's what inspired me to press play on the first episode.
You're
love
so
that.
powerful for that.
Gay people
think-
are the most effective marketing. It works every time.
The amount of shows that I have started watching because I was like, oh, there's actual gay people in this. Not to say that that's the only thing. You have to have other things in your show that make it worth watching, but that's definitely a good marketing ploy. I will say, this is something that I think is funny, and aside about how I got into The Mandalorian, was that my dad was, who I watched the Clone Wars with growing up, my dad was like, you need to watch The Mandalorian, it's so good, blah blah blah. Like, he'd always urge me, and whenever my dad tells me to watch a show as an adult, love him to pieces. I'm always like, yeah, okay, I'll do that, and then I don't. But I was like, you know what, fine, I'll do it. And then I watched it, and then I was like, oh my gosh, it's so good. And I would try to talk to him about it, and he'd be like, I don't know what you're talking about. And I'm like, oh, and then I realized that I was in way too deep. And now I have a podcast.
I'm trying to think, like, the first season came out like late 2019, so like right before The Rise of Skywalker came out, and it was like the first thing on Disney Plus. And you know, I work in entertainment. I'm sadly too much with the shit, so like I was already gonna watch it. I was already a kind of big into Star Wars fandom anyway, and I was also like, this was a time when like being a fan, it was difficult. You were in the trenches. This was before even The Rise of Skywalker came out. It was a rough time. So when they were like, there's gonna be a new Star Wars and it's a big deal, and there's this man, I was like, I'm ready. I will also freely admit, I think I've said this on the show before, that like, because they were completely hiding Grogu, they were really trying to market it as like the way they've always marketed like Boba Fett, in the same way of like, he's a badass gunslinger kind of guy. And like, and I was just like, and why should I care? This is not giving me anything new. Okay, sure. That's so funny to look back on now. But like, I was just like, okay, like I'm gonna watch it because it's Star Wars and it's not the sequels, which lower me at my grave, so you'll let me down one last time. But like, I was like, okay, fine. And then I watched it and I was like, oh, okay, I've decided to make this my personality. But I was going in as a bit of a hater, also just because I was like, oh, so you can't see his face. And what was the reason why he couldn't have been a woman? None. There's zero reason. There's zero, except for that they knew they couldn't market all of Disney Plus on the back of a woman. So yeah, I was being like some sort of insufferable bitch feminist on the internet about it, but then it was Pedro Pascal, and I was like, I'll let it slide. Feminism is out the window, actually, this time around. You know, and it was Pedro Pascal, and I was like, oh, and suddenly I'm extremely patriotic. Puro Chile. Like, I was like, yeah, suddenly I don't care, actually.
You're like, shut up,
else.
Cocksuckers. Salute the flag.
No, literally. I was like, stand for our boys in silver. I was like, literally, I can't. Yeah, and then after that, I became some sort of demon. But it was, yeah, I mean, it came out before that. I remember distinctly when the episode where Grogu force heals for the first time came out, and all the bitches were fighting about it online, and that was the episode that came out like the Friday before The Rise of Skywalker came out, where Rey force heals somebody, and the girlies were freaking out on the timeline. They were like, oh, I don't know if that was on purpose or anything, but everyone was like, oh, this is crazy, whatever. I think it was just because it was, you know, Star Wars fans, they'll make a fucking deal out of anything. But like, even in a positive way, the girlies were freaking out about it. They were like, oh my god, maybe Star Wars is good. Well, and then it was Rise of Skywalker, so but like, I do remember it just really was like a moment of time, and we were having we were having, it was just kind of, it was also very fun. Like we hadn't had a lot of fun in Star Wars fandom in a bit. As a Star Wars fandom, I don't think we had fun. We had been fighting like literal Russian trolls since The Last Jedi came out. So it was just like, oh my god, we have something to talk about every week. Slay. And this was before like Grogu capitalism had blown up and everything like that. And also before the pandemic. So and then by season 2, I was all in, obviously.
So as I've mentioned multiple times on this podcast, The Mandalorian is what got me into Star Wars. I mean, I guess if you haven't listened to our podcast before now, you're finding out now, yeah. The Mandalorian. I'm one of the people who got into Star Wars after The Mandalorian. But really, I didn't get into the fandom until like after season 2 and like during the pandemic because, everyone went off the shits. But I remember when season 1 was coming out, everyone's like, oh, a new Star Wars show. Oh. And I had been watching the sequel movies and I was like, maybe I'll watch it. I have no idea what the fuck is happening. But yeah, I think episode 2 had already came out when I started watching because people were like, oh my god, look at this little fucking baby Yoda motherfucker. And I saw a picture of Grogu and I was like, what is that? He's kind of weird looking, but I loved fucked up little Muppet looking things. So I was like, I have to find out what's going on in the Star Wars show, even though I don't particularly care much, even though I am watching the movies.
I'm just really obsessed that your first reaction to seeing Gogurt was, what the fuck is that? Why does he look like that?
To be fair, that is the reaction of every single person in the show to seeing Grogu.
Yeah, to be fair.
That's fair.
Yeah, and then
that little Muppet creature.
That happened. I remember defending Grogu with my whole fucking life when my one friend was like, I hate this motherfucker. They're just using him for capitalism. I was like, he's cute though. And now I also am like, I'm so sick of seeing you stupid little green bean. He's still cute. It's just Disney, if you keep putting him on everything, I'm going to destroy you. And myself. But then season 2 came out and I became crazy and I was like, what if I make TikToks? And now we're here with the rest of these gay people. So
the domino effect is truly something that is wild. With the Mandalorian.
Also because of the Mandalorian and like them making so many references to like Clone Wars and like Rebels and stuff in season 2, I was just like, I need to know what the fuck is going on. And because I liked it so much, my one friend was like, do you want to watch the Clone Wars with me? This is also after I had rewatched all the movies with my older sister, and I was just like, maybe I do like Star Wars. Maybe I should have watched these a lot earlier in my life. Maybe I shouldn't have been afraid of Jar Jar Binks and Darth Maul.
I like the idea that, like, I know because we've talked about this before. I like the idea of little child you having thought that Jar Jar Binks and Darth Maul have a large role in the overall Star Wars narrative, and that's stopping you.
How shocked me and my older sister were when we saw Darth Maul get cut in half, and we're like, "Oh shit, goodbye." But it was fun seeing him in the Clone Wars too. So yeah, I will always hold Din Djarin in a special place in my heart because it's like, because of you, we have all these fun friends and this silly little podcast. Thanks, Din Djarin. Thanks, Pedro Pascal.
Yeah, Pedro. Is it because of Pedro Pascal that we are here today? Who can say?
Yeah, The Mandalorian is the reason I also got back into Star Wars. Shocking turn of events. I was still in college. I have a very distinct and fond memory of my homies and I sitting down to watch I think it was the first 2 episodes together, and being like just being like, oh my god, this is so slay. Also having no idea when in the timeline it took place. I was like, is this happening during like Return of the Jedi? Like, what the fuck is happening right now? So it was just like a really, I don't know, great time. Also, I will say, native Twitter during like the first season of Mandalorian was a fucking wild fucking place to be. The way that indigenous communities online have clung to Grogu as though he is their own son, their own baby, insane. It needs to be studied.
I will also say Latino memes, Latino Grogu memes, and then of course specifically Chilean Grogu memes. They were so everywhere, especially I would say before we knew his name, absolutely off the charts, completely off the rails consistently. I don't know what it is about that little man where everyone's like, that's our son. Every ethnicity is like, that's our boy.
No, not Claudia being like, yeah, every ethnicity. No,
we are one race, the human race, or whatever Grogu is.
I will say something about Grogu. The girlies are down to fight. I know when I watched The Mandalorian with my mom, she was so worried about Grogu. Like anytime he would do anything, she'd be like, "Oh my god, get him! Oh god, is he okay?" He hasn't. No, and this is one thing she brings up. Basically, anytime you talk about The Mandalorian, I don't think he's a very good father. He hasn't changed Grogu's diaper yet.
And I was like, that's a decent point. Like, no, yeah, it's true.
Well, I get it, but I was like, maybe he just did it off screen. She's like, no, he didn't. He wears gloves. It's like, yeah, it's so true.
Grogu doesn't poop, not clickbait.
Well, I mean, we've never seen anyone. Well, no, that's not true because Wedge Antilles went to the bathroom.
Also, he peed. Additionally, may I just say that one Orlin, oh fuck, what is his last name?
Orlin Malo?
Orlin Malo? Why was I gonna call him? I don't know what the fuck I was gonna call him. I think I was gonna call him Orlin Otto. Orlin Motto? Motto? Jesus Christ. Orlin Malo has canonically pissed himself.
Yeah, he did. Fun fact, if you haven't read Convergence yet, spoilers for Convergence.
He does piss himself?
Well, he inks himself and the bed.
Okay, so that's either cum or piss. Who knows?
Why would it be secret worse third thing?
Inking.
I don't think that's how that works. I don't think that octopuses are like, oh my god, I'm gonna ink. Like
Finding Nemo?
It's octopi. Why are you... The plural for octopus is octopi?
Okay, why are you getting all up in my octopussy over this? Come on.
I was not ready to come on this podcast and have cephalopod discourse today, but I'm glad that this is where we've gone.
And this is not the first time we have had cephalopod discourse on this podcast.
What I think is so dark is the idea that a new listener who, like, hears next week's episode, which is going to be the first episode of the Mandalorian season 3, is like, I want to, like, hear other things that they've said. They click onto this episode and it's like, oh my god, Megan, oh my god, octopus cum, like, what the fuck is wrong with us?
This is telling people exactly what we're about and what they're getting into. I think this is exactly a good picture.
Anyways, the Mandalorian. What's that about?
I was also gonna say The Mandalorian is the first canonical time we do see a toilet in Star Wars, like on screen. So
not true.
Okay, no, because I do not want people to think that we are like a piss-centric podcast because we've now devoted like 4 uninterrupted minutes to talking about people.
We're not.
We're not. Okay. I feel that piss gets mentioned a lot on this podcast, but not for the reason you might think.
For our listeners at home, we tend to have nice and interesting critical discussion most of the time. Sometimes I don't know what's going on.
No, I can talk about things I liked about The Mandalorian if none of you fuckers can get it together. Well, one, obviously the thing that's in every Star Wars, the found family of Din and Grogu being, father-child trope of gruff man finds the love of a child and changes. There's also their other extended family members like Grief Karga and IG-11 Megan and Quill, may he rest in peace, fly hiking. If you haven't seen Mandalorian season 1, I don't know why you're here, but yeah, spoilers for Mandalorian season 1 and season 2. Boba Fett got brought back because of the Mandalorian, so slay for that too.
major spoilers for the entire series. If you haven't watched it, go watch it and then come back and you will still not understand the jokes we're making about Piss and Megan.
Wait, imagine. Sorry, this is a tangent. Oh, this is a tangent. Anyway, imagine your favorite character in The Mandalorian being Cobb Vanth, and you don't watch Book of Boba Fett, and then like you come back and you're like, what happened to him? What the fuck?
Why does he have Robo Tommy too?
That's gonna be my dad, and probably also my mom if she watches it.
I know we were trying to talk about positive things we like about The Mandalorian. This is a negative thing I have to say about The Mandalorian. Casual viewers of this television show who are like, I'm really sold on The Mandalorian and that's it, who didn't watch Book of Boba Fett, are going to come to this season and be like, what the fuck? Grogu is back with Din? What? Huh?
Din has a fancy new fucking sports vehicle? What's going on?
I just think that choice, like we've talked about earlier when we talked about the Book of Boba Fett, we were like, this would have been better as like a story arc in a longer season of The Mandalorian. Like we talked about that, but like from a business perspective, no, but like the whole reason that they're doing a million reboots and universe extensions of everything is to like have an onboarding point for different people, and The Mandalorian is like the number one best example of doing that successfully. And you've got people, I mean, like on this podcast who came back to the thing. You've got people who came to the thing for the first time. You've got people who became super fans. You got people who, you know, just became casual fans. You got people who were like, I just watched The Mandalorian and that's good. Like you have different layers of people. And it's like, I just keep thinking like, what's the purpose? Like, obviously it's to build out and connect with everything else. Cause like they're leaning whole ham into like all of the Rebels stuff. Obviously they're doing that a little bit more with Ahsoka or whatever, but like it's like, okay, well, if my thing is like, okay, you brought on all these people to be interested in The Mandalorian, like, and then they're like, the show is not going to work without another show in it. And like, I don't know, because me inherently, like, if it outside of it, like, I like when things are interconnected. I like when it's like, no, you gotta connect the dots, whatever. But that is not the way that most like modern big franchise media is made in the first place. I'm like, you either go whole ham with it, like the High Republic, where it is like an interconnected fucking patchwork, and we've talked about that too, where it's like it is hard to consume all of that because it's across multiple publishers. It's the same deal. You either go kind of whole ham with that, or you do something like The Mandalorian where like you could just watch that and you're fine, but like don't do this kind of thing in the middle. Like who's making these decisions and why? I just have to know, because it's like, what do you expect the outcome to be? Like, I just don't. It's so puzzling. And like, I know like that ending was crazy with like Luke Skywalker, whatever, but everyone was asking like, okay, well, how do you continue the show from here? Like, to me, like, I remember being shocked by the thing in the Book of Boba Fett, because it was like, oh, like, oh, he's getting him back immediately. I thought like maybe he would show up in the context of Mandalorian stuff because he's with Boba Fett, but it's not. Like, I was shocked because it was like it took away from Boba Fett's story, but I was also shocked because I was like, oh, you'd think that they would do a sort of a thing of like Din Djarin's roundabout by himself, figuring out Mandalorian shit, and then he is reunited with, like, I feel like that shit with Grogu could have been like at the end of this season or something like that. Like, it very much felt like, it just. Anyways, what's the both narrative and financial purpose of this? Who can say?
I have similar feelings re Grogu sort of launching back into Din's story. It's something that I necessarily like really strongly dislike or whatever, but I do feel it sort of undercuts a lot of the really good emotions that we got at the end of season 2. And I sort of wonder where we go from here, because like they had a really natural conclusion. Not for like Din's story, but for like the Din and Grogu story. And I was kind of thinking like, oh, a perspective season 3 will just be like focusing on this guy figuring his life out now that he's no longer playing father figure. And then they sort of like immediately said, well, never mind. They're back together. It's totally fine. And like we've been saying, there's a lot of people who didn't watch the Book of Boba Fett that are going to come back to this season and go, what the fuck? And I'm like, I don't know. I'm not mad about it because I love their relationship and I like a lot of the themes that it explores, but I do wonder, I guess, where that's going to be headed.
No, and I agree 100% with what you guys are saying. I think like Claudia said, a really nice thing about The Mandalorian is that it's a good on-ramp for people who maybe have seen a couple of the movies or maybe watched part of the TV shows and was just like, I just want something that feels like Star Wars. And I think what's really nice is The Mandalorian is a huge departure from what we've seen in live action Star Wars up until that point, because like there's no Jedi in it. The Force is obviously like a part of the world, but it's not like the central part of the show. It just kind of shows what it's like to exist in the Star Wars universe. And what's also really nice about Din Djarin is that he's like, up until very recently, he's just kind of some guy. Like, there's nothing particularly special about him aside from like his skill and his status, like as a part of the Children of the Watch. But even that, it's not like he's the leader. It's not like he's some sort of important figure. Like, he's just a guy. And I think that's what like a lot of people had been wanting from something like Star Wars. And especially at the time where the whole like Rey nobody kind of situation was happening, where a lot of people were having opinions. And like, I'll be clear, I liked this Rey story in the sequel trilogy, so like this is not me shitting on that. But I think that a lot of people were looking for something that wasn't based on identity and based on interconnectedness with other characters. And that's something Din Djarin gave us. You were never worried that like he's the grandson of whoever, except for like when the show very, very first came out, when people were like, is this Corky Kryze? Y'all remember that? When people thought Dim was Corky before the show
I
came
wasn't
out?
around for that. I didn't even know that was a thing until like right now.
Yeah. No, girlies really
It
thought
was.
every single character in The Mandalorian was Corky until the show really got into it.
You guys, Axe Woves is Corky Kryze.
His name's an anagram.
Oh. We can't do this.
No,
Yeah.
I really like that aspect of The Mandalorian about like Din just being some guy. I actually remember one of the complaints that I saw about the show when I finally like went on the internet about it was people being like, well, there's no like big narrative. Like we just like see him doing like random stuff. And I was like, yeah, that's like my favorite part about the whole show is like he's doing little errands, he's working for people, he's just sort of like making his way through the galaxy. And I found that both like compelling to watch because I like the sort of character, but also like it was very fun. And also, I know some people were like, well, he can't stop running into other like main characters. And I was like, yeah, but like I thought that was fun. I enjoyed him having one-off adventures with people that I was like, I know her. And then like having their paths basically like totally diverge after that. I like the some guy aspect. I tend to like those stories a lot more. And I also I think that a lot of their one-off narratives sort of had to be more compelling on their own. Like they had to stand on their own merit. Like, yes, I'm a Cobb Vanth stan, but I also think that like The Marshal is a really good episode of TV. It has a really nice self-contained story that's fun to go back to.
Yeah, I guess by like the structure itself, where it's like, here's a guy who people always joke, oh, he doesn't know a lot about Star Wars. Well, yeah, because he's just one of billions of people who live in a fucking galaxy. You guys gotta stop making that fucking joke. But like, here's a guy who's just like you, who doesn't know that much about Star Wars, and he's meeting all the little people. It was literally like, let's take a little journey through a Star War, and that's also why, of course, people always have one opinion and then they swing to the other one, because then when it became, oh, it's cameo central, I was like, first of all, you guys don't know what the word cameo means. You don't. Second of all, him meeting people who do exist within this universe, who it would make sense during this time period for them to show up in these situations, that's not cameo central. It's not. Like, if he's looking for the one Jedi who's alive, Luke Skywalker showing up, kind of, it fucking makes sense. Like, I don't know what to McFucking tell you. Like, it's whether you like some of those choices or not. It was very like, I was like, guys, that is a part of the structure of the show, is that he is introducing you to Star Wars. He's like, he is YN. Din Djarin is YN. Like, and whatever. And that's okay. And that's what makes it special. Like, and people are like, oh, Cameo Fest or whatever. I'm like, that is the show.
Guys, I have horrible news. Stan Lee showing up in a Marvel movie is a cameo. Bo-Katan showing up in a show about Mandalorians and having a significant impact on the plot is not a cameo. A cameo is literally like 10 seconds where a character shows up or someone's in the background of a scene. It's not plot relevant character appears and impacts the plot. Also, I did want to comment on something that you said, Claudia, about people being like, "Oh my god, Din Djarin doesn't know what he's talking about because he's like doesn't know anything about Star Wars." Blah blah blah. He's a himbo, girl. First of all, Din Djarin's not a himbo. Let's get that fucking straight. What I think is, first of all, he's very sheltered, and I think that is intentional on behalf of the story of the writers in saying like, we want to create a character who is good at what he does, but is maybe not like a history buff or even like a world politics buff, whatever, because it's easier for a viewer to then project themselves onto him and learn through his POV. What I also think would be really funny is if Din Djarin is like those kids who are like really smart and know a lot about one thing. Like kids who know a lot about the Titanic, but not a lot about history in general. Like he knows a lot about Starlight Beacon, but not a lot about like the Empire or politics.
People are like, oh, he doesn't know about Star Wars. I was like, it's not only a good character thing, I think it's also a good world building thing because this is a very weird period of time in Star Wars. It's like 5 years after the ending of the Empire. So like through the eyes of somebody who's just like fucking vibing and like, you know, not only was he always a bit disconnected, he was from like a disconnected community, you know, from a diaspora also, but like he was from a disconnected community, from a fucking cult. And then he also then has a very transient job. You really get to get the vibe of a lot of different like how the galaxy is operating right now in this like limbo time. You know, and we've talked about like how political does Star Wars get or whatever. Like this isn't a particularly political show, but like they do weave it in to all the different things. I mean, Cara Dune is there, whatever, but they're very much like trying to show us like what is it like to live and survive during this time. Um, what is the aftermath of this, you know, for different people. Um, and I think that's like, I don't know, it's just like a part of the world building. He's not an idiot. Also, yeah, why do people call him? I'm like, do you guys know what the word himbo means? Quickly.
No, yeah, he's not a himbo. But also, whenever anyone's like, "Well, he doesn't know what a Jedi is," I'm like, "Babe, who would?" He like has grown up in a time period where that's not public knowledge. Like,
Also,
leave my man alone.
the Empire literally like made it so people would think that the Jedi were not real. They literally like erased the Jedi, like they committed genocide against the Jedi. So like him being like, "What is a Jedi?" That's like everyone in the galaxy at that point who wasn't literally affected by the Jedi like personally.
No, literally. And that's why whenever anyone is like, well, Dan doesn't know what the Jedi is, I'm like, babe, you only know that because you can watch these as movies. Like, people living in the time period that he's living in, they wouldn't know like, what that is. They literally are, like, likening that to magic. Like, doesn't he at one point call the Jedi, like, an enemy clan of sorcerers or something? Because, like, that's, like, what the armor describes them as.
Well, but the other piece is not only is the general culture of the galaxy like there was a cultural genocide to make sure that they were forgotten in less than 30 years, but also like he is specifically from a culture that doesn't like I mean they used to have a lot of information or whatever, but that like he is specifically from a culture where they considered the Jedi their enemy, and from a subset of that culture that has cut itself off and doesn't have a lot of knowledge of even the rest of the world. So he had like the 1-2 punch. Like of course he wouldn't know what the fuck a Jedi is or something like that. Like he literally, my man's was fucking homeschooled. Okay, and then he's finding out about the Donner Party later on fucking Wikipedia. Like
Like Claudia said, you know, he grew up in a little, not cult, they're kind of cultish though, a little subset of Mandalorian culture where I'm pretty sure, like, don't they even say that, like, only a few of them, or maybe even just one of them, are allowed to even, like, leave the, like, covert, like, area at a time because, you know, they're being all sneaky about everything that they're doing down there? And
Yeah, they do.
so of course Din doesn't know what the fuck is going on because probably it seemed like he hadn't even like left that place until he got like way older. maybe like even a few years before the Mandalorian started, and this man probably in like his 30s.
Wasn't so I know somebody made a joke about what was that Netflix show about the girl in the bunker?
Unbreakable Kimmy Schmidt?
Yeah.
Kimmy Schmidt, thank you.
The
I don't know
Tina
why it
Fey
went out of my
show?
Hey,
head.
no, shut up. Why did I almost say Supernatural?
Stop. Ollie, free yourself. Oh
No,
my
oh my
god.
god, guys, Din Djarin is stuck in the Men of Letters bunker. We have to get him out.
Get him out of there. He's hanging out with Lata.
So true. No, because then he would have been more informed about what's going on in the world. He would have known what the fuck the Jedi were.
Din Djarin and Carlos are kissing on the mouth. Jokes for people who watch the Supernatural prequel the Winchesters. Anyway, what I was gonna say was also like, I remember there being jokes about how the Mandalorian is basically the story of if you were Kimmy Schmidt coming out of your bunker. Wait, I made that post. But I made a joke that like the Mandalorian is basically the story of like Kimmy Schmidt came out of her bunker and like didn't know what anything was and then like accidentally met the Pope. Like that's basically what it is. And didn't know what that meant, what that was. And that's basically like you guys gotta give this man some slack. He also isn't stupid. Like he's quite smart at a lot of things.
You saw that he could speak the Tuscan language. Like, who else? Like, no one in Freetown. Well, it wasn't Freetown yet, but like could speak the Tuscan language. They're just like, dang, those Tuscans. And then Din is like, hold on, I'm gonna go speak to them.
I'm sorry. The Tumblr post that I made on December 18th, 2020 was The Mandalorian is the equivalent of if Kimmy Schmidt rolled out of her cult bunker and found a baby that looked like the Pope, drove it around in a broken Toyota while wearing an Armani suit, and then immediately met Beyonce not knowing who she is.
I'm sorry, are you comparing
So
Grogu's burlap sack to the Pope's clothes?
I think the crazier thing is Claudia is comparing Yoda to the Pope because you said looks
Yeah.
like the Pope. Like
a major
people-
religious figure.
Pope Yoda.
Actually, no, it's
Oh my
Pope
God.
Yaddle.
It's actually Baby Pope.
Stop.
No, I
no.
Baby Francis. Baby Francis.
Oh
Baby
my God.
Francis.
Oh my god, baby Francis the Eighth? That's not right. Anyway.
Baby
Listen, you
Forsythius was exhumed by baby Pope Stephen VI.
Who was giving Yoda a fucking copy of Undertale in Star Wars?
Oh my God. Do you guys remember when Claudia brought a fanfiction that was Paul Blart Mall Cop and the Polish Reformation? Because it never leaves my mind. If as a listener you're thinking there are not enough fan fictions about Star Wars involving the Polish Reformation, you're right. Please write more. I would love to see them.
Like, so, I mean, we've all talked a little bit about why we like The Mandalorian. Are there some, I wouldn't say, do we have any critiques, but also some things that, like, we're concerned about for the upcoming season and stuff like that?
Well, the big one we talked about already of, like, you know, if you didn't watch the Book of Boba Fett and Mando 2.5 hidden within the Book of Boba Fett, you'll be like, what the fuck is happening? I'm also very concerned about certain female characters that are gonna be in this season or more featured rather in the season. Bo-Katan and
I was thinking about somehow Cara Dune has returned.
No, she unfortunately she has passed away, and by unfortunately I mean fortunately. But no, that's my big concern is Jon Favreau, my fucking enemy. People have come for me on TikTok before for saying that I don't like Jon Favreau because of what he did with the Book of Boba Fett, and I'm concerned about how he will portray Bo-Katan in this because his track record with writing women is abysmal. The bar is in hell, so we'll see how that goes. Once again, I'm trying not to have any expectations so that I don't get let down by anything, because if you don't expect anything, you can't get hurt.
No, I will say people talk about Bo-Katan a lot and they're like, oh my gosh, well, she was so bad and she was so evil and blah, 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 blah. And I'm like, did you guys not watch Rebels? Because literally her entire arc in Rebels is her being like, yeah, I really like fucked up on that. That was really bad of me. And I'm like kind of like the worst person alive. Sabine, you need to help me and like do this. And Sabine's like, fuck no, girly, I don't want to do this. And then she's like, Sabine, you need to do the right thing. Like, Bo-Katan literally goes through so much growth and is literally like, oh my god, guys, like, I'm so much better. I'm like, she's learning, she's healing. So it'd be really fucking weird for her to suddenly be like, I'm gonna be so fucked up and evil if you don't let me be the Mandalore. Also, I will say, you know what I did just think about? I'm thinking about Jon Favreau, and I was like, dang, when has Jon Favreau also written a female character who has a lot of potential to be interesting, but then made her very one-dimensional and basically a lapdog for a male who's also a ginger? I was like, Pepper Potts, the fact that Jon Favreau got his stanky hands on you in the MCU. I think about Pepper Potts in the MCU basically all the time and how she gets treated like dog shit. Like, guys, it's not looking good. Every time, like, Jon Favreau has always had this problem. If you're gonna watch Chef, Sofia Vergara and Chef, I'm so sorry that you're so one-dimensional, queen. It's not your fault. Love that movie. I'll say it. I'm a Chef lover. She's not that important to the plot, and she's like the only woman there. I don't know. Jon Favreau just has a bit of a track record. Like, even the things of his that I really enjoy, every time a woman comes on screen, she has basically one personality trait.
I know a lot of people have leveled a lot of the criticism for like Book of Boba Fett and for other things at Dave Filoni, and a lot of times, every time I'm like, no, actually, my guy, that was probably Jon Favreau. And then it's not like Dave Filoni is without his thoughts, without his faults. But I will say, like, Bo-Katan is one of his characters who came from animation, and we liked what they kind of did with her in Rebels and stuff like that. So I'm hoping that like he's taking the lead with her and obviously any of the other Rebels characters. That's also why like I'm not that scared for the Ahsoka series. Whatever, I'm like, those are his little guys. Like he's gonna take care of them. That being said, expectations are low. I'm hoping that Bo-Katan, like, she's also like, she's a middle-aged woman at this point. Like, she's allowed to be a little fucked up and evil at this point as well. I support women's wrongs, so I don't really. If they decide to make her fucked up and evil, great.
I don't want her to be fucked up and evil, but my other worry about her character is just that regardless of what it is, if it does get to have any of the complexity I feel it deserves, I worry I'm going to see a lot of men on the internet who are not going to grasp that at all, or worse, willfully misinterpret like what happens with her. So that's also why I'm nervous, just because some of the discourse around the show, y'all need to calm down. It is not that heavy. But yeah, I don't know. I'm not a Jon Favreau girly a lot of the times, and I don't know. My expectations are in hell for women that he writes, but we will see.
Oh yeah, Bo is based on Dave's wife. Forgot about that.
Yeah, let's get that out there.
I did not know that.
I remember Katie Sackhoff talking about that at Star Wars Celebration last year. But Bo-Katan is like a lot of her traits when it like come from Dave Filoni's wife. So I'm like, John, if you do that, it's gonna be a personal slight not only to me because Bo-Katan is like my baby girl on the side. Don't tell Mal, but also is a lot like Dave Filoni's wife. So that'd be a personal attack, Jon Favreau. Just keep that in mind, you trick ass bitch. Sorry.
Ollie's cheating on Mel with Dave Filoni's wife? Not clickbait.
No. But no, like, seriously, if he, like, I don't have the faith in Jon Favreau in writing Bo-Katan to be as like complex as she deserves. Like, have all the nuances there. He's gonna write her one noted where she's like, "Oh, didn't you trick ass bitch? Give me the dark saber. I deserve to be Mandalore." And then all the dude bros are gonna be like, "See, Bo-Katan's evil because yeah, like Ollie was saying before, it's like, did you guys not watch Rebels? Did you? They only ever talk about what she did in Clone Wars. Which, side note, in the Clone Wars, isn't she in like her early 20s, like maybe like not
Even
even like 20
younger.
yet? Yeah, like she's probably like 18, 19, maybe younger, around that age. She's fucking still developing. Her brain's not like fully developed. She didn't know what she was doing. She was being groomed by trick-ass Death Watch and what's his
groomed
face?
by Pre Vizsla, who's
Yeah.
voiced by Jon Favreau.
Oh, wait, did he also voice Pre?
Paz Vizsla, yes. Yeah, he's
Pre
pre
and
and Paz.
Oh,
Girl, no, get
fucking-
away from Bo-Katan. It's a fucking precedent is what it is.
Do not trust any
Turn away from
Vizslas.
him. Yeah, don't trust any of those trick-ass bitches.
They're gonna get into Mandalorian politics, which is a thing that they've kind of skirted around before, and I'm like, and how are we gonna get into this one? Because the fights, it's gonna, you know what? Honestly, the thing I'm the most scared of is the way people talk about it online, because it's gonna get so rowdy, and I'm like, it's not that deep. Like Noah said,
Oh my god,
it's
if
not
I
that
see
deep.
fucking Kree's like discourse again, where they're talking about Satine and saying that like, oh, Satine committed cultural genocide, I'm gonna lose my goddamn shit.
Karen
Like,
Travis has done like irreparable damage to Star Wars. Like I say that
Karen
not as a
Travis
joke.
and her consequences.
just like keep the Kree sisters out of your goddamn mouth if you're gonna say shit about them. And Jon Favreau, I'm coming for your ass if Bo-Katan sucks. I can't wait for Axe Watch.
Okay.
You mean Dick's Watch?
Dix Nation, let's go.
Dicks out for Axe.
Not Dix
All right,
out.
say less.
Axe.
Mine is out.
Okay,
It's been
Jeffrey
out.
Tubin. Anyways, point is, yes, instead of Cody Watch, I think we need to transition into for the Mando. What the fuck is wrong? I feel like
That sounds like something Grief Cargo would
yeah,
say.
exactly.
Oh, looks like the Mando's here.
The Mando. Anyways, love you, Grief. I feel very Grief Cargo in this moment. Anyways, I'm just saying, Axe Woves. We know he's going to be in this season of The Mandalorian. It's just a matter of when. I am ready to first of all, I'm usually not pro gatekeeping. I will gatekeep Axe Woves, and I'm not joking about that is the thing. He is my glove shitto. There, I said it. I'm not afraid to admit it.
You're so valid.
I'm gonna become some kind of monster as soon as we learn literally anything about him. If his name isn't actually Axe, if they decanonize his name being Axe Woves,
No, that means they'd be decanonizing like fucking Anne or fucking Dix.
Ain.
Ain, sorry.
You have to say it like you sound like you're in pain. Ain.
Ain.
No, this is something I will say. The fact that Cosca Reeves is allegedly not going to be in this season, fuck you guys. That is a funny thing, is not to come out as a pro wrestling fan, but like, anyway, now you guys know my deep dark secret. But I remember being like, not gonna lie, I didn't start watching The Mandalorian until like season 2, but I remember being like, oh my god, Sasha Banks is gonna be in The Mandalorian? Oh my god, maybe I need to watch. Like, she was a not insignificant reason as to why I started watching.
Beep 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 beep. Not Haunted Doll Watch. Welcome to Fantastic. This is a show within a show. What if I just introduced it exactly like if it was Haunted Doll Watch, but it's Fantastic? That would be funny. Anyways, this is a part of the show where I come to you after searching the internet high and low for people's fan casts, and usually they're quite bad. And so I'm gonna name off some actors that more than one person has considered for a role in Star Wars, and my good friends here have to guess what character. I found some today that are just wow. Are you all ready?
I'm really excited about this.
I have been ready since earlier today. For context, I was sitting in the living room. Mel was in the other room, and I was minding my business, and suddenly I hear, oh my god, hysterical laughing. And I come in, I'm like, what? And they're like, I can't tell you yet. So I'm very excited.
Okay. I'm trying to think where I want to start with this. Let's dip our toes in to begin. These are two actors who were considered for the same character. Rhys Darby, who is most known for his role as Stede Bonnet in Our Flag Means Death, and one Tom Hiddleston.
The idea of the two of those men being considered for the same role is so funny. And I also don't know why my gut reaction was Ki-Adi-Mundi, which is like obviously not the answer, but I think maybe
a human
if
character?
No, it is not.
Is it Grand Admiral Thrawn?
It is not Thrawn. That is hilarious, though.
Maybe if Rhys Darby played Ki-Adi-Mundi, I would have more respect for him. Did you think Rhys Darby could play Charles Roy?
So true. Yes, yes,
absolutely.
Yes.
Is this a character from the prequel era who was animated
No.
before and would now be live action?
I have never seen this individual animated.
Oh, so they already are played by an actor?
They are played by an actor.
Was I about to ask if it was Kendall Roy? That's not
It is not
Star
Kendall
Wars
Roy.
character.
No, not
I
Kendall
like
Roy.
the idea of they recast Kendall Roy with Rhys Darby or Tom Hiddleston.
No, but like for whatever reason, I was like, oh, I bet it's Kendall Roy. What the fuck is wrong with me?
No,
I love that.
Why did my brain go old Luke Skywalker?
Kendall Roy's Jedi school. Oh my god. Okay.
Okay, so what we know, they're not human. They're not animated. They're not from the prequel era?
Not from the prequel era.
Are they
original
from the
trilogy? Rebels?
They are not from the original trilogy. Well, they're...
Rebels is animated.
I believe a character of their same persuasion is in the original trilogy.
Is this a recast or is this a character that
recast.
we've not seen? Okay. So it's an existing character.
Mm-hmm.
Rogue One?
No, not Rogue One.
Galen Erso.
What did you say?
Solo character?
Not a solo character.
It's a
sequel trilogy
as played by Rhys Darby.
Not a sequel character.
Kira as played by Rhys Darby.
This character, we first saw them. I think that they're technically in one of the original trilogy movies, or at least someone who is the same type of character that they are, or type of individual that they are. However, we saw them in a TV show first.
In Andor?
Not in Andor.
In The Mandalorian?
In The Mandalorian.
So this is an alien character in The Mandalorian.
I never said an alien character.
Didn't you say it was... Well, then
It's
why...
a non-human.
Yeah.
Is it a droid?
It is a droid.
C-3PO?
IG-11.
It is IG-11.
Claudia, why would it be C-3PO?
So,
famed Mandalorian character C-3PO.
I don't know. My brain. I have a clue.
I like IG-11 is not. I don't think IG-11 is in The Mandalorian. IG-88's in The Mandalorian.
I thought it was IG.
Terrible.
1 second.
Hold on, because terrible news. Rhys Darby has already played one of those characters.
No, IG-11 is from The Mandalorian. First of all,
Wait.
So
IG-88 is the one who's from the original trilogy.
Yes,
yeah,
and that's why.
Rhys Darby voiced IG-88 in a game already, and Taika Waititi played IG-11. I made a TikTok about the Our Flag Means Deathification of the IG series of droids before.
Shit.
So true. Well, then why didn't you guess it?
I don't know.
Can we? Is there any way
Tom
can we get Con O'Neill in there somehow?
Con O'Neill is Thrawn.
Thrawn O'Neill?
Thrawn O'Neill? Holy shit. Okay, anyways. I've got to move on because I've got so many more. And I'm thinking that maybe I bring some of these at a later date because they're just so good. Next I am going to name just one actor. It is J.K. Simmons.
Darth Maul.
Not Darth Maul. I love where your head's at, though.
Mandalorian character?
No.
Savage?
Not Savage Opress. Why Savage Opress? J.K. Simmons?
Okay. Old Cal Kestis, like super old. Like he's like really old.
Geriatric Cal Kestis.
No, not geriatric Cal Kestis.
Animated character?
Has this character been animated? Yes.
Yeah. Are they human?
Yes.
Oh.
Oh, is it oh my god, why can I never remember his fucking name? Clancy Brown from Rebels.
Ryder Azadi? No.
Yes. But you can't tell me that J.K. Simmons would not kind of slay.
Okay, but he looks nothing like him anyways. That's not the point. Think about who J.K. Simmons looks like.
Is it the guy from Mandalore who's kind of an asshole? That wasn't Mandalorian. Olmec, yeah.
No, not Olmec.
That is hilarious.
I want
you to character from Rebels or from the Clone Wars?
Neither. Well, technically, they did appear in an episode of Clone Wars.
Why is Tan Devo?
So not Tan Devo. He was originally in live action, but he has appeared animated?
No.
Are they from a book?
They are not from a book.
Or a comic?
Is this a Mandalorian?
Not from a comic, not a Mandalorian.
Vilder Mac.
Not Vilder Mac.
I just said not from a comic.
Oh wait, Clone Wars.
Remember when Vilder Mac was in the Clone Wars and he was like, guys, what am I doing
I'm having visions.
The demons, I'm having a flashback. Vilder Mac be like, sorry.
Guys, this is the one that took me out. I had to
Is this character this character first time we see them is it a movie or in the Clone Wars TV show?
Technically in the Clone Wars television show.
And do they appear in other things?
Yes.
They appear in wait.
Like what?
Do they appear in Mandalorian?
If I say where they are from, it's gonna give it away a little too quickly for my liking. If they're not from the Mandalorian.
Okay. Andor? No.
Not from Andor. Not from Solo.
Rogue One?
I was just
not from Rogue One.
No, because I'm trying to guys.
Open your mind.
Guys, okay.
The Star Wars Holiday Special?
No.
Guys, let's take a moment. Let's reassess. This is a character whose first appearance was technically in the Clone Wars. Are they better known for an appearance elsewhere?
Yes.
Okay, so we're working on it. And it's not a comic or a book.
Yes.
And
is it Palpatine?
No.
Claudia, Palpatine did not first appear in the Clone Wars.
Oh, I'm stupid.
Claudia.
Okay, so
open your mind.
I'm trying. Is it in an audio drama?
No.
Is it a video game? Is it Fallen Order?
No.
Fuck.
It's not a video game.
So they're
It's not Breeze. Alright, there goes my best guess.
Okay, so it's not okay, guys. Let's recenter. It's not. It's they appeared in the Clone Wars first. They're better known for another appearance. It's not a comic, a book, a video game, or is it a live action show?
No.
Is it a movie?
No.
Is it?
I'm asking. Okay, open your mind. Think about what J.K. Simmons looks like.
Like a white bald guy.
Exactly. Open your mind.
Why was I like Professor X? Probably not.
Why do I want to say Baron Papanoida?
No.
That's fucking hilarious.
I like where your mind is.
Okay, so this is a character.
Is he like a Glup Shido kind
of
character?
Is this character a human?
Yes.
So this is a human who is and they're well known. Are they like the main character in their respected thing?
From a certain point of view.
Wait, is it like old bald-headed Darth Vader?
No, it is not.
When would that have been in Clone Wars, Claudia?
Okay. I will say here. Let me get the scope a little closer. That was a hint, by the way.
The scope. Is it crosshair?
It is crosshair.
Oh my god. What? J.K. Simmons.
That's crosshair.
Well, you guys left me on Kamino. What was I supposed to do? I waited a million months until someone came and picked me up.
The farmer's insurance. commercial, but it's on Kamino. No, okay. Here's the other thing about this that's really important for me to know. For me to know. So I was looking, and you'll never guess the crosshair casting for what it was for, if that makes sense. Because I look on this site called mycast.io, and I was just kind of looking around. I was looking for something else actually, which is going to be kind of my next point. But I found this in a proposed fan movie for Fennec.
Why the fuck?
What is he doing?
Oh my god, what?
Auditionally, Hunter would be The Rock. So
What?
just see the vision. Open your mind.
Not The Rock.
Huh?
Okay.
I feel like I'm gonna have a panic attack. Holy shit.
Okay.
We're talking about Mega like it's about 5. It's about power. We stay hungry.
Okay. Are you ready now? I have 2 more. I think I want to do.
Okay.
All right. Here we go. Are you guys ready for this one? I don't think you're ready.
I'm ready.
I am so ready.
Tina Fey.
Oh my god, Sarah Palin.
Get this. Jane Lynch.
Okay.
And finally, Sarah Silverman.
Oh god.
What the
What?
fuck?
Okay, is this character originally from animation or no?
No, not from animation.
We're looking for a
It's a
femcell, right?
I won't say if she's a femcell or not.
Okay, wait.
my
Is
God.
this character not originally animated human?
Yes.
So this is a character who's in live action, so this would be like a recast, right?
Yes.
From
Are they a sequel character?
No.
Oh, because I was gonna say Haldo.
I was gonna say Phasma.
Jane Lynch's Phasma is kind of slay. Wait.
Jane
I
Lynch
was
plays
no-
Phasma's mom.
No, because I was just thinking about the concept of Tina Fey as Captain Phasma.
Is she from The Mandalorian?
I was just gonna ask if she's from the prequels or the original trilogy.
Not from the prequels or the original trilogy. Claudia, you're on the right track.
From The Mandalorian.
Yes.
Cardio.
Dune?
Yes. It is Pelimato.
What the
okay.
fuck you guys. Amy Sedaris does not act her ass off for y'all to recast her with Tina fucking Fey.
My first thought was Pelimato, and I was like, nah, that's too easy.
Okay, no, because you don't want to
Fuck
hear
you
Pelimoto's
guys.
lines. No, because you don't want to hear Pelimoto's lines in the Tina Fey Sarah Palin voice because
No.
Okay.
No.
Here's the thing,
Amy
guys.
Sedaris, I'm so sorry.
Here's the thing, guys. I could do 2 more, but I kind of want to save it. Kind of like do little like whip it hits with this one. But also, I think it'd be funny if I did it. I feel like it's really relevant right now.
I think you should do it. If it's relevant, there'll always be more.
Here's the thing, the great thing about it though, there are 19 for this character. So I can just kind of spread this out whenever. It's kind of like the new Gobi.
Oh, nice.
So, are you guys ready?
The new
I'm
Gobi,
ready.
isn't that the show with Zoe Deschanel?
The new Gobi. I love that. Okay, anyways. Mary Elizabeth Winstead. Natalie
Is
Dormer.
Oh.
Emily Blunt.
Oh, it's White Woman Wednesday, I see.
Olivia Munn. Rosario
We're not.
Dawson.
Or not.
Oh.
Okay, wow. We're naming
Adrian-
every actress.
Adrian Palicki.
Oh
What?
god.
Stephanie Beatrice.
Oh, it could be anybody.
They really said United
This-
Colors of Benetton.
Yeah. I'm like, this could be anyone. Who the Are they in live
So-
action?
Yes.
Are they
Is
animated?
it
also?
Ahsoka? Yeah.
Not Ahsoka. Not, what did you say, Jess?
Have they been animated?
They have not been animated to my knowledge.
So is this a character from live action?
Yes.
They human?
Yes.
New Leia
Oh.
fan cast.
No. I wish.
Okay.
Is it Kira?
It's not Kira.
I wish it was Kira. That would
Were
be
they-
fucking hilarious.
Padme?
Were they in the prequels?
Not in the prequels. Not Padme.
Original trilogy?
Not the original trilogy.
Sequel
Se-
trilogy?
Not the sequels. Guys, there's been a theme in all of my fan casts thus far.
So it's the Mandalorian.
Oh, they're in
Yes.
the Mandalorian. We're so stupid.
Is it Cara Dune?
It is Cara Dune.
No.
I like recasting her with Rosario Dawson just so that she can play both to as many roles as possible.
Mhm.
Like they're like, how many more bitches can we get? Like next season, Pelly is also going to be played by Rosario Dawson.
We can't keep casting women. We have to consolidate our roles. So yeah. And then finally, I think this one's a good one to kind of close off with. This is near and dear to my heart. Also, you know, it's Black History Month. I would love to kind of highlight this fan cast. This was all done by the same person. The actors are Leslie Odom Jr., Trevante Rhodes, who was in Moonlight, Yahya Abdul Mateen II.
It's not Greef Karga.
It's not Greef Karga.
Is it
Moff Gideon?
It's not Moff Gideon. It's not Din Djarin.
Damn it.
But are they from The Mandalorian?
They are from The Mandalorian.
Is it Axe Woves?
It is Axe Woves!
You're a fan cast for Axe Woves?
Yes, and they decided to blackwash it, which honestly, slay!
Leslie Odom Jr. as Axe Woves is so funny, because, like, in what fucking world would he accept that role?
You know, stuck in the bathroom, and so he misses out on the whole mission.
Instead of Michael in the
I was just about to fucking say that.
Instead of Michael in the bathroom, it's Axe Woves in the bathroom.
I was gonna say he's like
by himself.
He's like, I want to be in the room where it happens because he missed it. Get it? Anyways, Hamilton joke.
Wow. Oh my god!
So sorry.
It's really, do you guys ever heard of that show, Hamilton?
I love that
it's kind of
game.
obscure.
Now you put fucking Axe Woves singing "Wait for It" in my fucking mind.
I'm willing to wait for it.
Yeah, him waiting for them to come back
to get his ass. Anyways, so thank you for playing this fun little game. Once again, I think as we go through the show The Mandalorian season 3, I will just come to you guys with like little like bricks to the head, microdose you on Fantastic, because I've got some good ones, guys.
Are we ready for our favorite segment? Name That Ship. The segment that we do pretty much every week, where we find fan fictions, or you send them to us. We have a form, you can fill it out in our show notes, that have something interesting going on, whether that is the ship, maybe that's the premise, who knows. You know, it could be funny, could be just interesting, could be whatever. And we try to make each other guess. So we give the premise, we give the tags, and people have to guess what is the ship. Or sometimes what is the crossover. We do this out of love for the medium of fan fiction and the fact that Star Wars is such a huge fandom that literally anything is possible. Roll the dice. So if you know of this fan fiction, if you can find it, do not go and harass anybody. This is all fun and games, okay? I'd like to start today with a fan fiction that was sent to me by Bean, our listener Bean. Thank you so much. The comment that they gave was, "I'm so sorry for this. Relationships. Character A / character B. Mentioned character A / character C I cannot give you because that would immediately give it away. Mentioned character A / another character from associated with character A that would give it away. Character D also mentioned character D / another character who would give it away. Also mentioned character A / another character that would give it away. The only characters who are tagged are character A and character B. This might give it away, but I have to say it. Additional tags: crack treated seriously, M3g, xenobiology, marsupial, insert species here, rated M for my god, what have I done? The summary, the title is called Unexpectedly Expecting. This was orphaned, by the way. We don't know who wrote this. The summary is just character A isn't alone.
What else can fucking kangaroo cock are we gonna have to talk about on this show?
I have something to say. Is it? Because here's the problem. Not only have I seen this, I've read it. And I'll tell you something else. If it's the one I'm thinking of, it's pretty good.
Do you
So
want to make a guess?
I will refrain from speaking.
Okay.
Wait, did you say Zeb, Ollie, though?
Did I have to?
It is not Zeb. He is
Then I
not
haven't
in
read this.
fiction.
The fact that there are multiple fan fictions that are tagged marsupial biology about Zeb, and this one isn't him. Wow, I'm shocked. Sickened, by the way. I've read a couple where that are tagged like that are Calazeb, and they're pretty funny. Anyway, wow, I feel like a dunce. Is it
Okay,
Chewbacca?
so it's not.
I'm just trying to think of who's the
Immediately
most
going, is it Chewbacca
marsupial-like?
after all of that?
Is this Han
No.
and Valence? Valence? Is
No,
it
it
Han
is
and
not.
Beeler?
No, it is not.
Is it Rio Durant?
No, you guys are not even close.
Okay, is it
Rey
two men?
Are these
Skywalker.
human characters?
Well, yeah, it's
It
two
is
men.
two men.
I don't know why I
It is
asked.
two men.
Are they human?
They both are non-human.
Is Darth Maul one of them?
No, he is not.
Oh wow.
Is Savage Opress one of them?
No, he is not.
Zebo?
Who?
Zebo from Rebels. All you bitches
Who
forget
the fuck
about
is that?
Hater. You are a fake fan. You are not a real Rebels fan.
He's Ephraim and Mira Bridger's prison wife. He's the Rhodian.
Oh my god, I forgot about him. No, it's not him.
Grease Fallen Order.
No, it is not. I'm so surprised you guys are not getting this right now.
So it's two non-human men?
Yes, and character A mentioned past.
Wait. I think I have read this. Yes. Wait. Okay, I'm gonna say something, and I'm gonna sound fucking crazy. And if this is not it, I think I have seen this. I think I got it mixed up. Is it Thrawn?
Yes, character A is Thrawn.
Fuck yes.
And it's not
Do you
a
know who
Thrall
character B
fanfic.
is?
What is the point?
Thrawn and a non-human man.
Is it a Chiss? Yes. Okay, I know exactly who
No.
it is.
It is not a Chiss. And
No,
the people that he is shipped with are mentioned Thrawn Samacro, mentioned Thrawn Bakif, mentioned Thrawn Arlani.
Fucking guy, the one guy from Legends, the fucking purple
No.
oak man.
Wait,
No,
no, but it's
I know who it is.
it's Ungali?
No.
Okay,
guys.
guys.
Can I say
All
it?
of the other ships are all ones associated with Thrawn already. Character B is not.
Can I say it?
Yeah.
It's Yoda, right?
Yeah, it is. It is Thrawn / Yoda. Also, it's like really short. Again, this is a crack fic. This is a joke.
Yeah.
Ollie, I'm like thinking about why have you seen so many marsupial?
Yeah,
Yeah,
no,
I
that's
may.
a good question,
Okay,
actually.
No, because I'll say it. Maybe I clicked the tag because I was like, what the fuck is this? And I was entertained. Okay, you know what? I read a Calazeb fanfiction one time where Zeb was very marsupial coded, and I was like, that shit slapped. What am I supposed to say? You want me to defend myself? No, I don't have to. I'm right.
You're so valid.
Thank you. I have brought a fanfiction today as well. This was sent to us by @DoomPatrol2019 on Twitter. First of all, sorry about Doom Patrol. God bless. You're stronger than any US soldier. They have sent me this fanfiction. It's a lot. It's a lot of characters. It's a crossover. So I'm gonna read you. And I think here's the problem. I think I may have mentioned it. And I know for a fact Noah is the only one who has absolutely no idea about it. So if it jumps to your guys' heads and you remember, then kindly stay silent. Okay. Let me go ahead. There's no real ship. There are ships, but it's more about the crossover. This is a crossover of a couple things. First, character A and character B and character C and character D and character E and character F. There's a bunch of combinations of like character and character from the crossover, so I'm not gonna say those. But there's a bunch of ships that are all from that original source material that I'm also not gonna say. Just because there's so much here and it's not really relevant to helping you guess. But then we get some Star Wars characters. So it's Character A and Ahsoka Tano. Character A and Mace Windu. Anakin Skywalker and Ahsoka Tano. Past Padme Amidala / Anakin Skywalker. Character A and Anakin Skywalker. Character A and a different character from something else. A bunch of other characters from source material. Yeah. And then all the characters are from the source material except for Mace Windu, Ahsoka Tano, Anakin Skywalker. And I'm gonna read the summary. After her master's death during Order 66, Padawan Character A, who is from the other piece of media, returns to her family on Coruscant. I can't give you more than that because it will immediately give it away, but I have been thinking about this nonstop.
Okay.
I know that was such a mess. I'm sorry, but as soon as you find out what it is, it's gonna make sense.
Is the crossover is another piece of media? Yes.
Yes, correct.
So it's not the Polish Reformation.
It's not. No.
Okay.
I feel like this character probably was there though. It's probably her fault.
Okay.
That's not true. That's a joke.
Is it supernatural?
No, it's nothing that trite.
Okay, is it a TV show?
Yes, it is.
Is it
Okay.
Psych?
It's not Psych. There are a lot of Psych supernatural crossovers though, I will say.
Was this a recent TV show or is it kind of older?
It's not like crazy old. I think it's like, oh god, I think it like might be like about to be 10 years old.
Okay.
This is one that I know for a fact that you guys all know. Noah, I have heard you talk about it.
About this show?
Yes, correct.
And it's almost 10 years old?
Yes.
Oh my god, now I'm like, what shows have I watched in my lifetime?
I don't even feel like you have to watch this show to know it. It's truly through like cultural osmosis.
Is it Girls?
Yep, this is Girls. She's freaking what's her name? What is her name? Oh my god.
This is a Hannah Horvath crossover fic where Sho, Shamarni, and Jessa are in Star Wars.
Whoa, that's the names of those characters. That's so bad.
And they're all
I hate
awful.
that
I love it. The show's terrible. It's like really bad.
That's not the show in question.
Okay, so it's not the award-winning, critically acclaimed sitcom Girls. Would you say, is this like a comedy? Is it a drama?
This the original show is like a comedy. It's almost a sitcom, I think. It is a sitcom.
Is it New Girl? I haven't talked about New Girl, but
it's not New Girl.
How I Met Your Mother.
I was literally just gonna say that.
It's
no,
not
because this is a show that Ollie says that I've talked about, and I don't watch any of those.
Community?
No, it's something I can't speak or I'll give it away.
Is it
currently airing?
It's not currently airing. Fuck no, it is not currently airing.
Is it X-Men Evolution?
Is it Girls?
I literally said that earlier.
Sorry.
No. Also,
that's
can
not
we
a
go back?
sitcom. That's not a sitcom.
Okay,
Sorry.
Can we go back? X-Men Evolution, the sitcom. Noah.
It's kind of a sitcom. It has sitcom moments.
There is a laugh track in this show.
Oh wow! And I've watched it.
I don't know if you've necessarily watched it, but you know,
is it Victorious?
It says Victorious.
Oh my god! Is one of the characters Trina Vega?
I mean, she is there. I will read you the summary now. After her master's death during Order 66, Padawan Victoria Vega returns to her family on Coruscant. While there, she discovers a hidden talent for singing and is enrolled in Coruscant Arts High School. Here, she makes new friends, but she must conceal her past if she wants any hope of avoiding the new galactic empire.
Wait, Ollie, did you show me
so
this before?
traumatic
I feel
for
like
me.
we have talked about this.
Jess, I literally said that some of you know about this.
Okay, so you're referring to me.
So wait, this is a post Order 66 Victorious fanfic.
Yes, it is, where Tori escapes Order 66 as a Padawan. Basically, she's like Cal Kestis if Cal Kestis decided to be a singer instead of a scavenger.
I thought you were just gonna say if he decided to be a singer instead of a loser. I was like, okay, clear.
Cal got that story. We got that story in fucking Visions with that with
Oh yeah! Oh my god! No, because
no.
Where's
Also,
Trina Vega in this fan fiction?
Trina, I think, just is like there. Like Trina's just like she's within Tori's family, so like
I think that Trina Vega could bring balance to the Force. R.I.P. to the flop Anakin Skywalker, but I know that my girl Trina could do it.
I really need this person to finish writing it. Also, it's a crossover with iCarly and Zoe 101 as well. But there are still Star Wars characters in it. Also, I will let you know that this fic ships Andre and Tori. Well, we all know that Jade and Tori is the superior ship, so let's get that straight. That's the only recommendation. The only switch I would have. This also ships Carly and Freddie, and I'm like, that's fine, but I feel like we can do better.
I feel like we can do better too. Wow, that was incredible. Thank you so much for sharing that.
Oh my god, I'm so happy to have shared it. Mel told me it wasn't funny, so I didn't bring it sooner. They sent me this in like November.
I thought it was funny.
Thanks, guys.
Anyways, thank you so much for joining us this week for RuPaul's Pod Race. Since The Mandalorian comes back this week, so do we with weekly coverage. That's right, we're back in business, boys. Meat's back on the menu. I'm so sorry. Lord of the Rings reference. Anyway, sorry.
I got it, Claudia. Don't worry.
I know.
We got it. Thank you. Thank you for clarifying.
It's a really old meme, and I forget that people under 25 are mostly the people who listen to this podcast. Anyway, yes, we're going back to weekly episodes. You can look out for our first Mandalorian episode next Sunday. If you miss us between RuPalp's episodes, though, make sure you subscribe to our host's other podcasts. Jess's High Republic Tabletop RPG for Light and Dice. Ollie and I, our Supernatural podcast, where we force ourselves to rewatch it so no one else will. The Mystery Spotcast. No supernatural knowledge is required. Frankly, you will enjoy it more that way. And also Noah's podcast with friend of the podcast, Sage from Fulcrum Transmissions, Cowboys and Slaybots, where they talk about the latest in pop culture. As always, for updates, Star Wars news, our reactions to the High Republic Phase 2, more accursed shit. You can follow us on social media at RuPalp's Pod Race on Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, and Tumblr. If you want to ask us a question, send us a question to our TikTok Q&A, our Tumblr Ask Box, or just email us at RuPalp'sPodRace@gmail.com. If you really love the show, please rate and review it on Apple Podcasts, Podchaser, Spotify, Overcast, whatever podcast app you use that allows for rating and review it. If you haven't already done it, please do it. Also, tell one friend, like an MLM. Once again, thanks for listening. May the Force be with you, and don't kriff it up.
Waka waka.
Waka waka.